They say there's a village hidden deep in the mountains of Japan, a place that only appears after sunset and vanishes when the sun rises. As if it were a dream, it never existed. But is it just a myth, or something more? In the heart of Japan, there's a legend spoken only in hushed tones. A traveler who journeys to this hidden village is forever changed, some for the better, and others meet a fate worse than death. Jack was a young adventurer, always seeking out the unknown. They simply stared at him with blank expressions, their eyes devoid of warmth. It was as if they were ghosts haunting their own village. As the night deepened, Jack noticed a peculiar movement in one of the houses. Inside, a single futon lay on the floor, and a cracked mirror hung on the wall. Screaming, Jack bolted from the house, running blindly through the forest. Branches whipped at his face as he stumbled over rocks and roots, but he didn't dare stop. He could hear the villagers behind him, their whispers echoing through the trees. "Leave before the sun," they chanted. Jack settled down for the night, but sleep eluded him. Every creak of the house made him jump. Panting, he looked back at the forest, but all he saw was an expanse of trees. The village and the old woman's house were nowhere to be seen. And the backpack he had been carrying was torn and abandoned on the ground. Stunned and shaken, Jack realized he had lost something in his frantic escape, something precious that he couldn't retrieve. His heart heavy with a nameless dread, he turned and walked away from the hill, leaving the whispering trees behind him. Then he heard it, the sound of footsteps outside. He looked out the window, but all he saw was darkness, yet the footsteps continued, slowly approaching the guest house. Suddenly, he felt a presence near him. Turning his head, he saw a translucent figure standing by the futon. Its face was obscured by the shadows. Then it whispered, "Leave before the sun." Terrified, Jack stumbled back, knocking over a lantern. Darkness enveloped him as the room filled with the smell of burning. Hesitantly, he knocked on the door, creaked open, revealing a dusty interior. Feeling a sudden chill, Jack stepped inside. One day, he discovered an ancient book in a forgotten corner of a second-hand bookshop. With a trembling voice, she spoke in a language Jack couldn't understand, but her words carried a sense of urgency. She gestured to a small guest house at the back of the house. "Stay there," she seemed to be saying, "and leave before the sun." Confused but sensing a threat, Jack nodded. Inside its yellowed pages, he found a strange, hand-drawn map leading to a place called Twin Only After Dark. Eager to explore, Jack decided to embark on a journey to find the elusive village. But before he could set off, he needed help from someone who knew the area. Despite his persistence, most of the locals either pretended not to know anything about the village or outright warned him not to go. There, nestled between the mountains, he saw the village bathed in the soft glow of the moon. Lanterns swayed gently, casting dancing shadows on the ground, and children played, their laughter echoing through the silent streets. The sight was both enchanting and eerie, like a scene from a fairy tale. But something was off. The villagers seemed strangely motionless, like puppets without strings. They went about their daily activities without a sound, their faces illuminated by the lantern light. Despite the apparent tranquility, Jack sensed a profound stillness, a lack of sound that should have been present in a living village. Despite his unease, he decided to explore further. However, after many attempts, an old man finally agreed to help him. But instead of direct answers, he only whispered cryptic warnings. "Don't go. If you do, leave before dawn." Intrigued but unsettled by the man's reaction, Jack packed his bag and ventured into the mountains that very night. As darkness fell, Jack arrived at the spot marked on the map. He soon realized that the village was eerily silent. The people he passed didn't respond when he called out to them. An old woman sat in the corner, her wrinkled face illuminated by a single lantern. She beckoned for him to come closer. The old woman led him to the guest house. It was a small structure with paper walls and a thatched roof. Suddenly, the figure was upon him, and he felt an icy touch on his shoulder. As the first rays of sunlight touched the horizon, Jack burst out of the forest onto a grassy hill.